the screen. So, do Miranda rights apply when the police just pull you over and they're asking you questions, or do they only apply after they say you're under arrest, or they handcuff you, or they put you in the police car?
Yeah, what happens in the street is very often you can just get pulled over by the police and they'll start asking you for license, registration, and insurance. And they might ask you some questions. Have you been drinking? Where have you been? Where'd you come from? Who else is in the car? Um, and that's not where Miranda is first triggered. Miranda is really not triggered until after you're in custody, not free to leave, and you're under arrest. So oftentimes in a DWI case or Miranda has not been triggered by simply being pulled over, being asked those questions. But in, let's say, a drug case or a marijuana case, very often you are in custody. You are not free to leave, and you are under arrest, and the police will start asking you questions. And they'll start asking you, where are the drugs, or show us the drugs. We'll go easy on you if you just give it to us. And if they don't read your Miranda rights, you then can have a challenge through an attorney to try and get the items that they find thereafter, either the drugs um, or the marijuana, thrown out of court by a judge because the police have violated your Miranda rights. They have not told you you have a right to remain silent, that you have a right to an attorney, and an attorney can be appointed to you if you can't afford one after you've been placed under arrest and after you've been interrogated, but you haven't been told of those rights. So there's a very distinct difference between simply being pulled over and being asked questions and being placed under arrest and then being asked questions and those questions be used against you.
Okay. Do you think that the well? Let me rephrase the question. Do the police know? Well, never mind. That's another bad question. All right. So the police, we assume the police know when Miranda will be triggered. So do they deliberately ask you questions before they would arrest you to get you to incriminate yourself as a
On a, D-
strategy?
on a DWI case, I think that they absolutely do know that on the initial stop, if they ask if you've been drinking and you say you have, and they ask you how much and you say 2 beers, that they know that they can use that against you and it's not a violation of your Miranda rights. So I do think that the police are savvy enough, they're trained, and they do understand that. And I do believe that they understand later on that if they violate the Miranda rules, they're going to be vulnerable to a challenge. In a case where you're already clearly under arrest and now they've asked you to tell them something incriminating against yourself. So I think the police are very savvy about these rules, and the public is not. They think as soon as you've been in every case, this is the common question: Carl, I was arrested. They never read me my Miranda rights. Is my case should my case be dismissed? The answer is no. But the analysis has to be thoughtful. And was there something about what you said to the police that can be thrown out by a judge because your Miranda rights were violated? If you're not interrogated, you're not asked questions, Miranda is really not an issue. But if you were asked questions after being placed under arrest and you have not been given your Miranda rights, then Miranda is a very significant right that you have.